love song, always make it up song. It's my girl song.
Less in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success Card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now. Replace your business card with an Is the City Success Card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success Card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now. Replace your business card with an Is the City Success Card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success Card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now. Replace your business card with an Is the City Success Card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success Card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now. Replace your business card with an Is the City Success Card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success Card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now.
Shorty, swing my way, I wanna make you back. Have a lot to say, I'm sipping on Dopee, yeah. Girl, you drive me crazy, yeah. Start running away from me, I love you infinitely. I love you infinity and beyond. But you be my knee alone, yeah. Baby, when you coming on, yeah. It's a love song, ain't no breaking up song. I make a love song, always make it up song. It's my girl song, let's against the world song. I'll make it up now, I'ma take it to the moon, yeah. Sky is like a limit, look up on the view, yeah. Why you gotta do me like that? Baby, promise that you coming right back. I'm sorry, mommy, coming 213 at 4:30. If you come to me.
And we are live. What's good, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to this edition of Dope Conversations. I want to say happy All Lives Matter Day, all that stuff that happened last weekend. We didn't join because we wanted to respect that weekend and for everybody to have the time to, unwind and do what they did. So with that being said, we're going to get back to the business. And we're back to this business of having some real dope conversations. And there was no person that I wanted to come back from that break with that was more impactful than this young lady right here. And mainly the reason why I wanted to bring this young lady on is because I had an epiphany a couple of weeks ago, and I had a huge tongue lashing that opened my eyes to just like, women in general, not just women in the military, but just women in general. How it's perceived, or how I perceive, in my opinion, that I personally and some of us men out there have failed our women when it came to protecting our women, and actually just being there and understanding some of the negative things, the things that our women go through. And this individual I'm about to introduce y'all to is one of these individuals that are motivational. Like everything that she does sparks energy. Her smile, her mindset, just how she walks in the room and demands and commands that attention without asking for it. And the words that come out of her mouth are impactful and powerful. So I want to introduce y'all to Miss Lakeydra Houston. She is a 15 plus year veteran in the United States Air Force. I said 15 because I don't want y'all to know. I don't want y'all to know the exact number because it ain't none of y'all business. But 15-year plus veteran in the Air Force. She has combat experience. She is a very, very, very motivational and successful Air Force recruiter right now. She is the executive officer of Keep Fit. She is, how can I put this? She spent the last 7 years working on mental health, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and at the same time finding ways to get out to the community to empower you. Like she's been fighting for this for the past 7 years, and one of her biggest goals is to make an impact on the military community. She wants to bridge the gap of knowledge between the civilian counterparts while continuing to serve others. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys to Miss Kendra Fit, not Miss Kendra Fit. I got that Key Fit in my mind, but Miss Lakeydra Houston of Key Fit. She's a part of the Military Fresh Network, and I say she's maybe one of the top 10 faces of the organization. But Miss Houston, I'm gonna turn it over to you so you can speak to us.
Hey, so what's going on? Thank you for having me. It's weird to hear the stuff that you've done from other people, so it's like awkward hearing it. Um, but yes, I'm definitely excited for this, time to talk to you. I know we've had times where we've motivated each other and came together. So a lot of things you said is, I mean, I have a lot of things that's going on. I'm hoping to, keep going. So let's get this started. Let's talk more.
Okay. So I know we kind of tapped on your military storyline a little bit, but everybody has a foundation. And what is your foundation, and how did your foundation shape you to who you are today?
Um, so I think my foundation is basically my faith. And I know a lot of people say that, but when I was going through a lot of hardships in life, I think my faith is basically what kept me going. Also on top of that, you have your family, that's kind of your foundation. Certain people in my family that kind of helped me become a strong woman and that I've seen as strong women, throughout the family. So I think that's the biggest thing. And what shaped me is basically those people, seeing what they went through. My mother was a single mother. Her hardship being a domestic violence relationship, I saw that, and it's sad because I fell through that pattern of like, okay, domestic abuse is okay. Yeah, it's sad to say, but in my mind, I thought it was okay because I saw her being involved in that. So when I saw her and I later understood, that's not how a woman should be treated. That molded me, that changed me, that changed a lot of things within me where I started becoming stronger. So yeah, that's how it started, faith, and then seeing different things and wanting to be better.
So you made a comment that watching what your mom went through kind of um, led you to believe that what you were personally going through at the time that you were going through was okay. Like, what was it like? Like, I mean, how could like what was telling you in your mind that this was okay? But additionally, what triggered in your mind to say, wait a minute, this is not okay?
So I think when you see a domestic thing between your family or when you grow up around it.
Mhm.
I didn't live with my mom. We was back and forth, but at the moment I lived with her, I thought that was love because he would, put his hands on her. He would be disrespectful. And then next thing you know, oh man, she got this nice car. She got these nice clothes and we got all this
Right.
stuff. So, he's doing that, but he actually showing her love. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand it. And she never sat down and talked to me saying, hey, this wasn't right. So when I went through the situation, the first hit was like, okay, he loves me. Yeah, he mad. He made excuses. Yes, I'm going through this at work. I'm sorry. The apologies and whatever. So I was like, okay, he's just angry. That's his way of showing he loves me. And I know that sounds silly, but sometimes as women, we don't understand at that moment. So I said, okay, maybe that's his way of showing me he loves me. Then it started getting repeat hits and repeat hits. And then my eye opened when I was pregnant with my first son, and he put a belt around my neck. And he was basically like, you know what, this is it. This is it for you. Like, you're not gonna live no more. And he was a jealous man. So when he did that, something in my head saying, this is different. Something's not right. And when I had a dream after he released me, I sought help. I went somewhere else, stayed at a hotel, and I had a dream that he killed me. And I think that right there, when I had that dream that he killed me and I was not going to be able to raise my son, that right there opened my eyes. So I started seeking help. I started looking at different, outreaches, different couples, churches, things like that, and trying to figure out, what is this? Is this supposed to be how things supposed to happen? And then I started understanding, you know what, this is not right. My mom went through it. I see the impact it had on her, but then I also saw my grandparents. My grandfather never hit my grandmother. So, talking to them and understanding things, that's when I figured out it wasn't right. Now, when you're in fear of your life, that's when it's not right.
So, I can imagine there's a psychological part about this. Um, like, how are you able to? And this is all while you're in the military, correct?
Hmm.
So, how were you able to? Okay, so let's back up. You joined the Air Force. Why did you join the Air Force?
Woo! So I joined the Air Force like most kids, thinking I can get away from home. Before I joined the Air Force, I lost my scholarship to pay college volleyball because I got injured. And also I started partying and smoking. So I got out of I went to the military recruiting office because I wanted a better life. And I said, you know what? My mom, she had me at a young age. All my friends are going through rehab and they were still in high school or they were in college. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to go down that path. Went to the recruiter's office and said, get me out of here. I need to do something different. I need to break the stigma because everybody's like, you're going to be like your mom. You're going to be out here, dating all these men and all this other stuff. I want to break the stigma. I want to be different from my family. So I went ahead and joined, talked to a recruiter, and then lo and behold, I became a teenage mother when I met my husband, my first husband. Say first, I ain't been married a lot, but I met my first husband, and I was 19, and I was trying to figure out who I was, and he was he was abusive, but yeah, I got away, and then I went. I didn't heal from those situations, so it was like they relived, they came back up again, and they came back, in my relationship and things like that. So, yeah, when I got with him, I started seeing a lot of same things my mother was going through. So actually, I was running for something, but I was still doing the same thing when I left home, minus the smoking. But yeah.
So what opportunities has the military provided for you as far as just life wise?
Oh man. So life wise, I would say it taught me a lot of things. It taught me resiliency. And when I say resiliency, this is a story I started sharing. Less than a year before I got married, less than a year in the military, I was at my first duty station, at my duty station for less than 30 days. I got sexually assaulted by somebody in my leadership. So it was a big shock for me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it turned my world upside down. So at that moment, I hated the military, probably for the first few years, because nobody had my back at that moment. You know what I mean? And then later on, it was a black first sergeant that pulled me in the office. She actually sat down and she talked to me. She was like, I'm going to get your orders out of here and you're going to do great things. And when she spoke that into me and other people spoke that into me, it made me see things. So the military offered me, you know what, when it was that time where I needed to heal, it offered me those opportunities to sit down and talk to people to mentor me. Also, the opportunity to travel, and you get to see different countries, you get to understand different things, and of course, education and stuff like that. But I think it actually helped me heal more so than a lot of people think. And we do have the military is kind of like a family. But yeah, it's taught me a lot as far as life lessons is how to heal. I kind of grew up faster than I should have, but I learned how to bounce back from those, those issues that I had.
So we're gonna table the resiliency piece because me and you got me and you got a love for this term resiliency. But I want to talk about this first sergeant. Are you and this first sergeant still in contact with each other?
I have not heard from her. I knew she was a temporary first sergeant. I knew she was retiring, and I have not heard from her. And I don't even know where she's at. I try to find her on Google and Facebook, but I don't know where she's at.
And it's crazy you say that because, like, my journey in the military, of course, women, men, different, but as far as impactful people have been different because since day one, since I joined, up until maybe probably my 10-year mark, I've always had individuals that will pour into me. Like they saw the knucklehead in me when I first stepped on base. So I was one of those ones that got yoked up from day one. And I appreciate that. But one of the things that I think in the military that's missing right now is that initial impact or that long-term impact. I think that a lot of us have gotten so far caught up into trying to get that next stripe or that next position, the next duty title, that we forget that a simple conversation such as the one you had could literally shift your life.
Correct.
And I just based off of social media alone, watching your story, I knew something to somebody spoke life into you to where other than your son, because I've seen how energetic you are about your son, but somebody that's in the game spoke life into you because of the way we would have our initial conversation when we first met. I was like, man, this person she got it. She when I would say, hey, did you think about this? Oh man, yep, I'm already on. I said, dang, I just found out about this. She already knows. So like, who she been hanging around? I need to figure out who she been hanging around. How do you think that with our possibly short time left in the military, how do you think that we could probably influence, impact, and change such as what you had at a young age as an airman?
I think it's all about mentoring, and sometimes we always look for people to come after us and mentor, ask us to be mentors, but sometimes we need to seek out our mentees. And I think that's the problem that we have, that we're so used to, again, what you said, chasing that stripe, that we forget to pull those people in who need us. You know what I'm saying? So I think doing that, like having, these conversations maybe on Instagram or whatever, or actually sitting down and, having Zoom and doing some actual mentorship outside the military, talks about military and in personal lives. I think we should do that more. But only thing we can do is keep on, talking about it and try to pull people in. That's the only thing we can do. It's just a weird situation,
man,
when it comes to that.
It is, and especially even now to where you can't. It's difficult for a face to face because of the whole coronavirus thing. But it me and the current one of my coworkers now, man, we have literally day to day. We talk about some of the people that we have come in contact with as far as helping with writing, helping with just giving advice on career moves or decisions. We start questioning like, man, what is going on with what's going on? What is wrong? Like, how can a person that's this close to being at our rank or higher not understand some of the basic necessities to take care of people?
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary because right now we're trying to figure out we're literally trying to figure out how to communicate with a group of people that are, in my opinion, smarter than us and a little bit more mature than we were when we first came in. But they don't even have they lack interpersonal relationship skills.
Right, that's true.
And to me that is scary. It's scary beyond belief because sometimes when I talk to airmen and they talk about airmen as in E1s all the way up to E4s, and they talk about just the interaction with their supervisors, there is none. Literally, everything is through, and that's sitting in the office. Everything's through email, or everything is do this and walk away. It's like there's no, like you said, no family influence energy in the
Right.
work center.
Right. And it's just understand, they're supervising how they were taught. So it's a generational it's a cycle that keeps on going. They had nobody pour into them, so now they don't know how to pour into other people. And then you see these increase in suicides and stuff like that because nobody's asking these questions. I also think another issue we're having is we're so focused on how to get that rank, like you said, and we're too focused on this uniform and not understanding who we are outside the uniform.
Right.
So that's the thing. I think Chief Wright had made he made a video and he talked to recruiters and other people. He asked, "Who are you?" And everybody's like, "I'm Sergeant so and so. I'm Airman so and so. I'm Air." But he was like, "Nobody ever told me their name. We're people before we put this uniform on, and we forget that."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing. We need to go back into understanding who your troop is, who's your supervisor, who are we outside the uniform, and then that way we have that good foundation that we can start working together. And I think that's what we're missing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that who are you because when I like a month before I sold on Master, I was literally asking questions to seniors and people who had been master sergeants for years, like, yo, like what's next? What is my responsibility and what's gonna be expected of me? And because I literally did not know, and it's like, man, you're just gonna wake up one day with the stripe on and people are not gonna even know you just put the stripe on, and they're gonna see that stripe and they're gonna just automatically assume or know you noticed. And for me, that was so hurtful because it's like, so basically you telling me the Air Force told me I was ready, which I felt in my heart I was ready because I was inspired and I was motivated. But nobody could give me none of that, none of those tangible. These are some things to look for, right? And I was at work one day, and it was a coworker that was irritating the mess out of me, man, straight up. And I was like, wow, what is this person like? I wish they would stop talking. But then they opened up, they exposed themselves from a whole holistic standpoint. And my boss next to me was like, see, if you would just take the time to get to know somebody, you can understand why they act the way they act to do the things that they do. And it was that moment I was like, okay, this is what it's going to be about when it comes to leading people. And it was like I kept asking the questions like, okay, so get to know the people that you're leading, or get to know the people that's following you, so that you can find out their strengths, and like we said, like we talk about in resiliency, find out their strongest strengths and find out their weakest strengths, not their weaknesses, but their weakest strengths.
Yep.
And help them help and mold them, because for us it's all about legacy. It ain't about promotion, it's about legacy. So you mentioned suicide. Have you, in your mind, or your opinion, if you was queen for a day, what's one thing you would change about how we combat suicide?
How will we combat suicide? I think having a platform where I would say having a platform where we have empathetic conversations, if that makes sense. I think we talk about these suicide ideations and all this other stuff, and when they train us on suicides, what do we have? Either CBT, which is a computer-based training, or we have these quick conversations that check these boxes. The thing with the suicide, and I tell everybody that I make contact with this, we are going to see therapists, and this is military, and even some office, we're going to see these therapists that never had that feeling that we have. So and I say we have because I was suicidal, and I'm sure we'll go on my story either today or another time. But having to sit down with these people who've never been suicidal, who think because you feel a certain way that it's wrong. Oh, you're
Right.
weak, you're weak. So
Yeah.
understand, you have a person who is suicidal and you're going in seeking help and they're saying you're weak. And you're sitting there like, what? Is that really how you feel? Is that how we're supposed to get through this?
Right.
I think that's the issue. We lose empathy. We forget that. We forget we have to see things in other people's eyes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That, and also the fact that there's not a lot of knowledge about suicide. We don't understand. They tell us, oh, if somebody gives their things away, if they do this or they act like this, they're suicidal. Sometimes the happiest people are depressed and suicidal, and you'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
So is it really those signs that they teach us? No, it's not those signs. And I think that's the thing. We need to actually sit down. We need an actual team of people who have been suicidal and have them sit down and come up with a program that goes all over the Department of Defense and talk to people about it. And that's what I think we need. So I'll get a program of those people.
Yeah, good. No, keep going. You get a program to do what?
And I'm saying I'll get a program and get those people out to talk amongst different people. And I know there's something that another group is fighting for. I'm in the Veterans Assistant and Vets to Industry and all these different companies, but we're trying to get that. And it's hard to do that. So it's something that we're in the works, but.
And what's like, what baffles me is when we do talk about suicide awareness or suicide, I call it suicide response. I don't call it suicide prevention because we wait until a whole bunch of stuff happens. And we can money quarterback this all day as far as what we should have did, what we're not doing. But I think that what you're saying, it speaks volume because like somebody who went through it, somebody who tried to go through it, somebody who was unsuccessful, and they're still here breathing, and they they're recovered from it or are still recovering from it. Because when I at one of my bases, man, we had an individual, man, hands down. Joker was Airman of the Year. This Joker was his specific functional career field of the year. Had just recently promoted. Like everything was like he was hitting all these marks. And homie drove to the gate and committed suicide in front of the security forces. And it was like and everybody was like you said, it's like he was happy. Like we couldn't. There was no red flags. The checklist that they give us, it was not there.
Right.
Like, it was like there was no way we could have even see this. We couldn't see this coming because everybody had their hands on this individual. As far as being in his life, making sure that he was taken care of, but there was something that they couldn't physically see.
So
go ahead.
So I will ask you this. Sorry to interrupt. I will ask you this. If since you think this person is happy and everything, do you think that now, because people see that person as happy and as a motivator, do you think now that kind of gives them a emphasis on suicide? Because that's what I think. If you see somebody that's like, oh my God, he's great, do you think that becomes an option now for other people?
When you say you think, I think it becomes an option, like basically.
Yeah. So like people who are, yeah.
To like almost like to portray like they're happy, so nobody can recognize that they have a problem.
Right. So that, or it becomes an option because now people who weren't really thinking about suicide, they see somebody who's happy go lucky. Now they're like, man, this is an option for me. Yeah,
it does. It does. Because it's like, I mean, you can look at anything that triggers us to say, wow, like anything that triggers us to say, wow, I could be in that position. Because you remotely connect to that person or that situation, and then also, which is why I'm doing this platform, is because I know for a fact, just by sitting down in various meetings with you and watching you, how you move, how you operate, and just our personal conversations, like you can inspire or you can trigger a thought in somebody's head to go and say, oh man, like I was abused, or I was sexually assaulted. I need to go contact this individual and figure out how did they wake up every morning, and how do they get themselves out of bed, what exercises, when they weren't seeking medical attention, what was their individual attention, medical attention, if you want to call it individual medical attention, because we can provide medical attention to ourselves, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, and like that's one of the reasons. One of the main reasons why I created this platform, so people can tell their stories and people can inspire people. But also, like you said, yeah, like this dude had everything going on. That could be me. Like something could snap, and it was a blind spot, and I didn't recognize it, and I wasn't, spiritually or physically or mentally, strong to respond to bounce back. He probably had, because we still don't know. Well, I don't know the intent, the situation, the investigation was completed, but I don't know what triggered it. It probably could have been something that triggered him in that particular moment, to where he probably thought that his life was over.
Right.
And again, suicide attempts or suicides don't happen. Not only just happen because it's a long-term buildup of situations. It could be something as a blink of an eye, and it triggers you to make the ultimate decision.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing they need to realize. That's something a lot of people need to realize. It's not a long battle of things. It can be, like you said, and you have so many people who think they know so much and never been suicidal, and they're trying to tell the Air Force or the military in general how to cope with this, but you never experience it. So I think that's the issue we have now.
I had a friend today make a post, and it just alluded to what you just said, and it just triggered it. You can read as many books, you can study as many theories, you can have as many certifications and degrees, but until you actually went through, or until you have action behind what you're trying to instruct somebody to do, then everything you say is theoretical.
Correct.
So when she said that, I was like, man, like I've been like, that thought had been in my head. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of people who know everything but don't know nothing telling you to do something.
Correct. I would say experience over degrees. You can have so many degrees, but you have no experience, and that's a thing. So that's how I feel about the DoD platform and how they're facing this. That's how you fix it. You have people with experience, not just degrees. I don't care about that. So
because, like, once you get that degree, at that point you're stepping out there to get that experience. So and unless it's like, for me, unless it's like what, scientific or math or something like that, then I can understand that, because you're in school and your whole focus is applying, finding a problem and applying solutions to that problem and getting an answer, so that that's science and math is a totally different thing. But in medicine, it's practice, right? Everything is practical. Hey, you got a situation. Let me think. Let me go grab all these books. Let me go grab some material. Or let me call a colleague that went through this and get some and figure out what medicine or what exercises or whatever it is that they did to heal this person over here. Like, what did you do? And I think in life in general, we're all practicing. And that's why we go get mentors, right? That's why we go seek help from people who are either who are successfully living that life, or who have since retired but were successful at doing what they do. And you go out and say, hey, you wrote a book, or you didn't write a book, or you did this for 15, 20 years and you were successful at it. Help me.
Right. Yep.
So why Key Fit?
Why Key Fit? So Key Fit is everybody's into this fitness thing. It's to me, fitness is a different level. So Key Fit is knowledge, empowerment, unity. That's what Key Fit, and unity is YOUNITY. So I came up with that when I was going through, depression and things like that. I was like, what is it? What I need to know? Knowledge. It's basically breaking down everything, understanding, you need to reach out to people who've been in your situation. And so my thing was, there's so many fitness people, so many wellness people, but they don't really understand what incorporates fitness and wellness. A lot of people don't know that mental health and mental illness are two different things. Everybody combines them together.
What's the difference?
Like that.
What's the difference?
So mental illness is something you're diagnosed with. So if you're diagnosed with schizophrenia and stuff, that's an actual mental illness. That's when you're seeking medication for that. You can be have horrible mental health and you can have good mental health and still have a mental illness. Now, what this means is mental health is how you look at things, how you see things. So say if I had schizophrenia, I got on this medicine and I'm doing things to help myself mentally. So mental health can be what I eat, how I do things, staying away from alcohol. Those are things, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes having bad mental health can trigger mental illness. You know what I'm saying? So mental health is your outlook on things. How do you see things? What foods are you eating? Are you reading? How are you understanding things? That's what mental health is. And a lot of people are confusing it. So when I talk to people, I'm like, do you know what this is? No. Mental health also does not go into anxiety, depression, stuff like that. It triggers those things, but it's basically how do you view things? How do you see things? How do you understand things? So that's kind of what KeyFit is. It's helping people understand it's two different sides of the spectrum. Wellness is a whole bunch of things besides trying to be cute in a swimsuit, trying to be hot on Instagram. It's more than just that, right? It's about what you eat. It's about, and I'm gonna tell you that I'm not the healthiest person. I love my junk food. I love my snacks. I'm not where I want to be physically, but I love myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's about that self-care, self-love. Again, what do you put in your body? And then what you put in your body, what are you giving out? So that's what it is.
Learn something new every day.
And a lot of people don't know that.
So y'all in social media land understand mental health and mental illness are two different things. And if somebody come on there and say, "Oh, you just not figuring it out, why you didn't know?" Go kick rocks and step on glass for bare feet. I'm just saying. It is what it is. So what is your goal for KeyFit? Like, what are some concepts or ideas or projects do you want to do to where your mission and vision can reach those individuals that you're trying to connect with?
So I'm still, and I won't say I'm still new to this, but I'm still, I have anxiety when it comes to certain things, expressing certain things. And sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? But my whole mission behind everything is I really want to go out and do like either virtual platform or go out and do mentoring. And I've done it before with youth, but I haven't really done it with women. And some women are not ready to, go through that or to talk about certain things. So my whole thing is to keep on mentoring, keep on talking to people. I would love to travel the world, and I would love to talk to people about mental health, mental illness, as well as how we can come together as people. You see everything that's going on in the news. You know what I'm saying? We see everything that's going on.
Right.
We need to, but Black people are still bumping heads. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is not about this. I'm not gonna, steal your thunder on what my views, but I have strong views about something.
This is called Dope Conversations for a reason. You ain't stealing no thunder. Let's go.
So when you think about mental health in the Black community, let me just break it down. My issue is people don't see it. It's, hey, let's pray it away. My grandfather was a pastor. So when I was going through these issues, like, man, I am so, I hate myself. We didn't have a conversation about it. It was go sit in the middle of the church, and we're going to all pray for you and put hands on you and deliver. It was no conversation.
Yeah. And you better not bring it back up again.
Thank you. And you better, and you deliver from it, and you better take this communion and sit down somewhere. That's what I went through. So my whole thing is, I think that we need to actually sit down and understand it. Our kids are having these issues, and it's sometimes it's the food we eat, sometimes how we process certain things. We're not sitting down talking to our children enough. We're giving them iPads, tablets, and saying, hey, here you go, shut up, be quiet, and we're teaching them that way. But my thing is to make sure we talk in the Black community, in other communities as well, but definitely the Black community, because that's my focus, on how to get us back strong. You know what I'm saying? We're breaking apart, and we're breaking apart. Let's just be honest. We are breaking
Right.
apart. We're
Right.
competing with each other. We're hurting
Yep.
each other. We don't want to lift each other. How many times have you, and we've talked about this before, have talked to your black counterpart, say, man, I want to collab with you, I want to do this. And how many times doors been shut in your face? Right.
Ooh.
We don't come
Ooh.
together, right?
What you doing again? What? Look, and at the same time they do
Right.
this right here.
Right. Taking notes, and the next thing you know, they're a motivational speaker next week. And they don't know nothing. So they're stealing every story that you told them. And I've seen it before. And I've seen it too. Every story that I told her, all of a sudden it happened to her. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
now it's just like we are not working together. We're
Yeah.
doing this. And then we're not understanding our purpose. We're trying to figure out, put other people's purposes in our life because we
Yeah.
see them being successful. So
Yep.
now let's go ahead and dip and dab in that. Fitness,
Yep.
okay, having a fake booty and stuff does not make you fit. Diabetes does not make you fit. That's what I'm. That's it's yeah. It's a whole bunch. It's a whole bunch of ways to say about that. But
Hey,
I'm not gonna do that.
hey, you was about to have me in there. Say it's Sunday, right? It's Sunday.
It's
Wow.
Sunday.
Say it.
Yeah,
Now,
but
so
it's a
so
lot. Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question for you out there in the view land. So my guy AC Turner, who's also the host of the Radioactive Podcast in San Antonio, he has a really good question.
Oh Lord.
What are some tricks you use for mental health?
Woo! I got into meditation, and meditation is not your, not sitting there and doing all that. That's not what meditation. It's not always like that.
Right.
What I do is I meditate on things that happen. Like, what can I do? Because I was suicidal, I look at every day as like a new beginning. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So I wake up, I'm like, oh man, I made another day. You know what I'm saying? Then I look and I write things down. I have notes
right.
and I look at what I want to do for my day. Like I think
Right.
about goals. Um, I stretch, meditate, do those things, and also I write. So when I'm stressed out, I love writing. So find something that you love to do. Sometimes even going for walks. I hate running, but going for walks, yes, and just enjoying nature. So those are some things I do. But it just depends on what you love. Find out what you really love. That's what gets it. And I think when you find that, you learn how to heal and you learn how to take care of yourself more. But find some things. And also
So
read. Reading is good too for those who know how
so
to read.
so so for me, the one of the things I do is, man, like I hate reading, but I love audiobooks, right?
Right.
So I've literally started going out and finding audiobooks that, like you said, talk about the things that I like or I love or I have
Hmm.
a fascinating interest in. And I look at the reviews on the book. Sometimes I kind of sample, but okay, I'm gonna buy it. And I grab that book and I get engulfed into it. Like one of the books, something I'm reading right now, and it was suggested to me by a coworker. It's called Extreme Ownership.
Hmm.
And as crazy as it sounds, when these guys tell the stories about their comebacks, it's two Navy SEALs that wrote the book and they're authored it. I mean, they're narrating as well. But some of the stories they tell, I literally can imagine that I'm back in Afghanistan doing convoys. Not that I was doing any crazy convoys. My convoys were to and from driving my commander to and from different fives to put eyes on airmen. So I wouldn't, we kind of got into a couple of scuffles with some people, but it wasn't like TV portrays it or like the Navy SEALs. But I literally started
Right.
imagining, when I was out on the road, and my life was, for lack of better words, was at risk.
Hmm.
And then I started listening to how they're applying their SOPs, leadership SOPs, to their situations. Was then turn around, they started applying them to real life. It's like, man, I never thought about this. I didn't think about this. And it's like it's cool to be able to connect to books like that. And honestly, what it does is it takes my mind off of any stressors or anything that I look at like, man, I got to deal with this today. And
Yes.
that's like one of those things that where, like you said, meditation. That's one of those things we talk about meditation, that I end up having to deal with, where um, and 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 I just look like, okay, I could do this every day. or I can if not doing this every day, I can go listen to a podcast that talks about the same stuff,
Hmm.
and I can escape
Correct.
and and
Yeah.
and and allow those conversations, allow those stories to positive, to inject, not inject, but inspire me or create positive
Correct.
vibes. Yeah,
Correct. And I think a lot of what's the first thing we do when we wake out of bed? What's the first thing we reach for when we wake up?
the phone.
There you go.
Me,
That's
me,
the that
hey, I grab this first.
okay. The majority of people, the first thing they reach for is the phone, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a saint. I do it too, and I'm on my phone as well.
Hey, the phone
But
is number two.
hey, but that's the issue because guess what? When we wake up out of bed, what we do sets the tone for our day.
Yeah,
And I am not, and I have fallen off of this. I'm not gonna act like I'm good on this all the time. But when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I should be doing is having gratitude. And that's one thing I say. With this COVID and stuff going on, you never know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a phone call from my grandmother. Nobody's sick. Nobody died. Thank
yeah,
God. I do, I be grateful for your day. And then you take that second, whether you just stretch, inhale, figure out what you're gonna do, write notes, write down your goals. I usually write my goals on Sundays, what I need to plan for the
hmm,
week. But write down what you need to take care of and then start that day. That phone should be after you've gotten ready and done everything you need to do, that phone should be next. Should be the last should be the last thing after you got yourself together. But the first thing to reach for is the phone. And that's the
yeah.
problem. Everybody goes on there and wants to know what everybody else is doing, but you didn't focus on yourself.
The toxicity. They go connect to
Correct.
the instant toxicity.
Yes. And and in COVID, that's all you have.
Right.
That's all you have. It's entertainment for us. That's not a good thing though.
Going back into the black community then,
Hmm.
and because it's entertainment, um, like man, like I have grown more frustrated in the type of conversations that we have, dialogues and conversations that we have with each other, um, especially during this time. I mean, man, we got this perfect window to make a huge impact,
Correct.
and I literally keep and I try to make it a point of purpose to try to keep with my small platform to try to keep that conversation, this movement going, that thought going, because I don't want our energy to die. I want it to sustain.
Right.
uh, and yes, I see the competition, like the end of, like when George Floyd died, the competition went out the window, right?
Hmm.
But as soon as Juneteenth hit, the competition spewed back up. Why? Because now I want to know, I want to be the person who's celebrating Black excellence the best, you know,
Correct.
or or now I need to get back to the money, so everybody is promoting their Black businesses, but nobody's promoting each other's Black businesses.
There you
You
go.
know, um, and I feel like if we don't keep this moment going, I feel like if we don't hold each other, continue to hold each other accountable, and that's one thing. Accountability has to happen. I had a semi back and forth conversation with a person because they took a post that I posted as a joke, and it was a serious post, and I'm not gonna go back and forth with them over the public forum. I inboxed like, yo, like dead serious. I'm asking a serious question, and I asked this question this way for a reason, and they took offense to it. It was like, you don't have to you don't have to get offensive. I said, no, I'm not getting offensive, but you're joking. I'm telling you, this is a serious matter, but you're joking. And we back and forth. I said, well, she was felt like I had an attitude. I said, no. I said, it's just one of those moments where you're doing something, and instead of having an argument and it being a misunderstanding, I want to come to you and say, hey, look, this is what's happening, and this is one of those moments where I feel like because I know you, I should be able to hold you accountable. I should be able to
Right.
say, look, but if not, then cool. I just, I won't engage with you no more.
You said something that hits. We as a community are so prideful. So we don't want to hear when each other is wrong. Like if you come to me and tell me something, instead of me listening, I get defensive. That's the
Right.
problem that we have to stop doing that. And we do it to each other. I've seen it. Blacks do we do it to each other? I don't understand that. So you have to.
Hey, because me and you had a situation
Me,
a
you
couple.
had
Yeah.
right, but you know what? A lot of times I have a guy that kind of motivates me a little bit, Harper J. So he's on Instagram. Harper J speaks, really good motivational speaker, and a lot of times it makes a lot of things he say make sense because I get defensive. And sometimes he'll be like, yo, you know what? As a relationship coach or life coach, I'm trying to tell you something about yourself. Instead of you listening, open your ears, you get mad. That's the thing. Like, we have to sit back and be like, yo,
Yep.
this is my black brother, this is my black sister. They're trying to help me. But
Hmm.
as soon as, and I will say this, and anybody offended, I apologize. But my homegirl Heather can hit me up right now, and I will accept accept what she said without no fault. I will not go in, I will not argue with her, I won't do nothing. Why am I doing that? Why can I listen to her, but I can't listen to my own black sister that's telling me something? Why
Right.
are we doing that? So I see that, and that's not me. I've seen it amongst other people, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
why are you nice to this person, but your own color, you're not? You know what I'm saying? I'm not. But I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go
No,
into
no,
that.
no. Hey, this what we talking about, right? You know, hey,
It's
so
how we do each other. I don't
yeah,
understand that. That's something I'm trying, and I had to learn. When I did this mental health, did Keefe, I want to help everybody out. But the issues within the Black community, where we having issues with wellness, mental health, resiliency, it's
right.
happening more so in our community. So why do I focus on everybody else when I should focus on us?
Hmm.
The people that I know, if something happened to me like George Floyd, I know they were protests for me.
Right.
Why would I, you know what I'm saying? So now it's my chance to give back. So I'm gonna give back, and we should keep on helping each other. So I'm sorry, I
So,
kind of went on a little tangent on that one.
no, 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 no. Like I said, this is what makes the conversation the dopest because it's not choreographed. It's not a choreographed conversation. So, um, but what's next for you? Like, what's
Mm,
next?
what's next? I would say to build my platform. That's kind of what's next. Like, I want to still mentor people, and I have. Um, thank God I've made connections with people. You know what I'm saying, over this COVID, over this time this happened.
Hmm.
Um, so I have a few interviews and stuff, but my whole thing is to keep on being a voice for our Black community, being a voice for sexual assault victims, like specialist, Vanessa Gillum that went through that. I want to be a voice for
Yeah.
her. Other people, even the men and stuff like that, even though they weren't
Right.
sexually assaulted, and I know people fought me about this, people who are victims of things. I want to be that voice. I want to be that person that's out this uniform. That's why I can't wait to hang it up. Even though I love it, I may stay in a little bit more. I know telling with me, but I want to be out there with the family of George Floyd and all them, making sure we're actually being voices for them. Because I know I have a purpose, and I know my
Right.
purpose is to share knowledge.
Right.
So why keep on hiding it? Go out and do, what I can do. So it's doing
I,
that, mentoring, working with young kids still, you know.
so we got 10 minutes left on this conversation, right?
Hmm.
And these I got two questions, but
Oh Lord.
this one question is really what I want to hit on because this is what I need my brothers, my black brothers, to understand. Not in military and outside of military.
Mm.
What is it that we could do better for y'all?
Ooh. Inside the military, and outside the military.
It doesn't even matter, just in general. What
I
is
don't
it that
even
we
care
could do
about the
better?
military.
Okay,
Black
let,
men to black women.
yeah. And if you want to hit the military, if you want to hit on the military, we can do that too.
I think as humans, I think as black people, what we need to do, it has nothing to do with the military because we're individuals outside that. Um, I think we need y'all to communicate more. And I see a lot of black men that just hold their feelings in. But
Hmm.
also, this is to my black women, we need to be able to listen. Because
Right.
sometimes we pray for these black men to be strong and to communicate with us and tell us how they really feel. And when they do, the first thing you say is, oh, he's a punk, he's this and that, you know what I'm saying? And you get mad about it. So as black women, we need to learn what we can do for y'all. Don't ask me what we can do for you. We need to learn what we can do for y'all. Because guess what? You see an increase of black men going to different races, right?
Right.
Huge increase. Why is that happening? Because we have that typical black woman. We hear that all the time, which I hate that. But we don't listen. So I think that we have to communicate and understand our man. Like, we need to know how to love you. So we just need communication. Show us how to love you. Show us how to be there for you. Show how we can be your backbone. Show us support. We need to support each other. And that's what I think. Once we get that down and actually understanding communicating without pointing fingers, in a couple or whatever, I think things will be good.
So, I agree with you on that. Um, but I also think that, well, one thing is hitting on as far as being able to expose ourselves. One thing I don't like that I've experienced, and I have male friends that experiences is like when we do expose ourselves, that information is turns around and is being weaponized against us. So it makes
Right.
us like, okay, now I can't even. I'm supposed to be the most exposed to this person, and I can't even share my deepest fears or my deepest concerns, or I can't even say, hey, when you say things or do things like this, I don't like it without being called a B. Yeah, I've been called a B a couple of times, and I had to step
Correct.
back and be like, wait a minute, okay, exit stage left because I'm about to snap your neck. No pun intended, but that's just how I feel. But or it gets used against you in an argument or later on down the road.
Right.
Um, but the other thing is from a male's perspective. When the reason why I asked that question is because my boy, man, my boy Nicky Daniels, who went viral overnight. Sleep for the Rich. Shout out sleepfortherich.com. He went viral in Shreveport about 3 weeks ago. As far as when he came back downtown to basically stand up for some African American women who were being bullied by some white nationalists, right?
Hmm.
And then I ended up having a phone call with a very important black chief in my career field, and she said some things that basically said, "Wow, like as a man, I think I have gotten out of my way when it comes to taking black women for granted as far as they're always going to be here or they're just doing this. And sometimes I fell into some of those cognitive traps that everybody else falls into as far as looking at a strong, independent black woman. And I can say strong, independent black woman just because you're independent does not mean you're dependent. I think a strong,
Correct.
independent black woman is a dependent
Correct.
black woman at the same time, can recognize
Correct.
when to pull, when to move, and when not to move. But I was like, man, like what is it that we're missing? Like what are our blind spots when it comes to recognizing that we need to shift our thought and our logic behind our systems?
Hmm.
You know,
So
and,
I
and,
think, and I think you need to understand why are we so strong, and that's why I say communication, and I don't say effective communication, because sometimes you don't know why we're a certain way. We may have been through some trauma in our
yeah.
life, but again, we need to learn how to love you, and you need to learn how to love us. That's the thing.
Hmm.
Each person is different. So when you ask me this question, I can't, say what we need to do because each person may need something. This man over here may need me to be more of a nurturer to him or to kind of push him and motivate him. And this man may need something else. So it depends on who you're with and who you're around. I think that's what we forget. We forget to understand each other. But again, yes, we take each other for granted. But I just want y'all to learn how to just keep on putting just learn how to talk to us, because I see a
Hmm.
lot of strong men that don't say anything. And they're just like, oh, she got an attitude. Well, I may not have an attitude. I may have something that bothers me, or just maybe a passionate person. And it's okay to be like, hey, babe, can you tone it down? Like, this is how this is making me feel. Um,
Right.
and when you say this, I had to tell my son that because I would get on my son about it. It also starts at home because we have a lot of women who are single mothers who are trying to be the man and the woman and trying
Yeah.
to raise these men.
Yeah.
So, or these young boys. So I had to stop doing it to my son. When he cries, the first thing you want to do is shut up, wipe your face, whatever. Get up. I hear it a lot. Not saying I do it, but I've heard it before. You're okay or whatever. But sometimes I need to sit down and talk to my son, like, hey, what is bothering you? You're crying for something. What's going on? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Sometimes it's okay, and let them know, understand it's okay to cry. Don't
Right.
baby you. It's okay to cry, and I'm gonna explain things to you. We forget that nurturing, that talking. We kind of just be strong like your dad, and stuff like this. Or
Yeah.
we talk, you're just like your dad. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the
Right.
stuff we're doing has a lot to do with, the fathers need to be there for their sons. I know you got some crazy women, fathers need to help their son be the man for their sons, and then these women need to, but that's another story. I think I went to left with that one.
We're gonna have to have a part. We're gonna have to set up a part two.
I think I went left on that one. But yeah.
So you shared a text with me a couple of days ago about a particular protest. And they were basically saying, "Hey, let's go hang all these pictures up at all the military recruiting offices, and we need to basically protest women joining the military." As a recruiter and as a woman that has actually hit pretty much all the marks that the young soldier went through, the young lady went through, and you're a recruiter. Like, how does it, like, what was going through your mind when you saw that?
I felt so many different ways about it, because I understood where people were coming from, but don't put my life in danger because her life is gone. Right. And I don't mean that, I'm not trying to be, her life mattered. It's sad how that happened. But again, do not go. It wasn't peaceful. But I kind of understand where they're coming from, and I can't tell people how to protest. That's how they feel. That's what Right. That's how they did it. What I will say is, stopping it at the recruiting office is not going to stop it. You need to get in the meat of it, which is while they're in. It don't happen in the beginning of it. It happens while they're in. So their protest should be, why the people who've been sexually assaulted, why they either get kicked out or why they sweeping it under the rug. Don't go for the beginning of it, because we don't, what I'm saying? You have to get in the midst of it. So I think that their protest should be towards, the Department of Defense, other people, other outlets that we have that are in the military that are failing our people. I think that's the thing. But if you just started a recruiting office, people are going to still join anyway. People are still going to join. But I think it needs to be that, right where it happens. And all these uncovered issues, they need to fix them. They need to figure out what's going on, because they're covering a lot of mess.
So it sounds like we need to get our congressmen involved.
Correct. Yes, we do.
More involved. Our elected officials involved.
And the thing about it, what's so funny, when I posted on Instagram about my sexual assault thing, I had like 25 women that posted, and some of these happened in the 70s. I even had a male post it. So I was very surprised that men go through it too, but what they went through, like this guy was AWOL for 30 years because he got sexually assaulted by 3 men. AWOL for 30 years, and leadership didn't do nothing about it. Leadership didn't say nothing. He made a complaint against it, but because people were in his leadership that did it and that knew the commander well, they brushed under the rug. So now he comes back, and guess what? He goes AWOL, they bring him back, he start working again, and guess what? He gets sexual assault again. And goes AWOL for 30 years. And now this man has issues, living his life because nobody had his back. It's a lot. But yes, I'm sorry I went on that little tangent. We have to figure this out ASAP. We got to figure something out. So don't be afraid to tell your story. All those people out there, like you said, get your congressman involved, and you have to stand up regardless of the outcome.
So what is Military Fresh Network?
Well, so Military Fresh is something I've been a part of probably for the past, I guess, just January. I kind of follow them, but you follow people and you really don't, y'all don't really connect because y'all doing your own thing. But Military Fresh is a company that's veteran owned, and we deal with people who's in the uniform, outside the uniform. But it doesn't focus on uniform. It focuses on us being individuals outside the uniform. Okay. So with this company, we also learn how to market. We learn how to build our stuff up. We have these group meetings, team meetings, and it's all about personal development. And a lot of people don't understand that. So you look at all these shout out pages, Dope Military, all these other people, but are they sitting down and understanding people and trying to help them with their resume, help them find a job? You know what I'm saying? So this is what we do. We have so many platforms from fitness to each branch has their fresh thing, to veterans advocate, to mental health. Now we're working on placing jobs for veterans, getting veterans jobs. So it's a lot. It's a good company that's working to build people in uniform and outside the uniform that have served.
So anybody that's getting ready to transition or that has transitioned, I know for a fact She has like pushed so much information to me from this organization. I follow the platforms, and it's an impactful platform.
Hmm.
So to say the least, if you're not following it, Military Fresh Network or whatever your branch of service, Fresh or Fit Fresh, is it Fit Fresh?
Military Fresh Fitness, yeah.
Yeah, Military Fresh Fitness. I follow all of that stuff. I'm
Hmm.
not ready to tag myself yet because I'm still in transition mode, but
You still, it don't matter. You Air Force Fresh, you still tag yourself. And
so
understand the concept of fresh. Fresh is waking up every new, starting over. That's
yeah.
the concept of fresh, not being cute and everything.
Dang.
It's the
Okay.
concept is your mind. You're freshening your mind, your body, how you wake up and live. Everything's a fresh day, a new start. That's what fresh means. A lot of people don't understand that. But yeah, fresh start. Yeah. Well,
Hey, had
now
to
make you
pause for
more
the comments.
interested. Make you more interested.
so, and the reason why because we get ready to close, I had to push that in there, not for agenda purposes, but I had to push that in there because what I want to do is this last question I'm asking you, that kind of helps speak to your why. But what advice would you give any person that's currently at a crossroad and that are considering giving up on their dream?
I say remember your why. Like why are you doing this? So when you talk about dream, what's your reason of doing that? What's your purpose behind that? That's the thing I need everybody to understand. We're all here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up because the first thing you need to understand, if you give up, what are you losing? What are the people that you can help losing? And then if you go with your goal, what are you gaining? And what are the people, what are you gaining? What others around you are gaining? So remember that. If I do this, what loss and gain will I have? That's how I do things. But the biggest thing is remember your purpose. Why? Why are you doing it? What can you do for what's your reason for doing it?
Mm.
I think that's the biggest thing, understanding that. And then don't give up. Don't give up. So
So y'all heard that, man. Ladies and gentlemen out there, y'all heard it from Miss Houston. Trust me and believe me when I say this. Um, if you don't grab her now, she's gonna be like what my boy Ron G said. She's gonna be unaffordable. Um, in the near future because she's making waves. She's very impactful. She's impactful to me. She puts me on a lot of knowledge and information that I either I knew but I didn't know, and it didn't and the way she presented it, or I didn't know, and it's gainful. You need to follow on all her platforms. So what are your platforms? If anybody wants to reach you, how can they reach you?
So I'm on Instagram _Miss Keys. That's kind of my personal page. I do a little my modeling stuff on that page and my little and motivational stuff like that. I don't say little, but motivational. Mindful #key KEY is my motivational, and it's just I just started doing it on Instagram. And then I have keyfit.life. That is my actual website where you can go in there either buy the merchandise or just do one-on-one bookings or whatever. So yeah, that's my thing.
Just so y'all
Oh,
know.
now you gotta wear the shirt.
Now I ain't gonna wear it. I ain't gonna wear it. I gotta say it because on Mondays we do cardio, so I be needing me a good long sleeve shirt to help with my sweat. But I just want y'all to know she got some dope gear, y'all. Some real dope gear. And
It just started off, so
hey
I
and
gotta
the, and
try
the
new stuff.
hey the material is good. No, it's done been washed a couple times. No fade. The paint ain't frayed away. So definitely check her out. Definitely check her out. Um, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to the team at Is the City. If you don't know, Is the City is a platform for entrepreneurs to who are definitely having a difficult time with getting their information out. The team there can literally set you up with a platform, digital business cards, any and everything to where you can manage your business digital content. Additionally, I want to send a shout out to one of our sponsors, Miss the company Organics, Next Gen Organics. Definitely, my hair is feeling soft. It's been feeling soft for the past 3 days.
I have to
Um,
try that.
Oh yeah, I see the information. Black owned
Okay.
business. It started by self-made entrepreneur. And shout out to changing the narrative. My homie, she's a veteran. She's 16, 18 years military. She has a t-shirt book company. Just so you know, whenever I get on this platform, any t-shirt you see me wear from here on out is going to be from somebody I know. Somebody I personally know that has a business or brand. Next, a couple weeks I got my boy Mike custom tees. I'll be rocking some shirts from him. But I'm not gonna go on this long tangent because I know we got to get out of here and I got to respect the time. But definitely shout out to my for the music, the intro song, 33 God, Know Your Worth. And I chose this song for a reason because this conversation is about getting to know yourself, know your worth, so that you can combat all those things, those life stresses, or bounce back from those significant events that cause you to question why you even live on this earth. We're getting ready to check out of here, and I want to send a shout out to this exit track by the Money Train, Raphael. This name of this song that we're going to exile is called COVID-19. New artist, homie is really dope as far as the R&B side, and he can rap. But it's Houston. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your motivational words, your encouragement. Thank you for the knowledge I got for the difference between mental illness and mental health. Thanks for putting me on that I need to wake up every morning and see it and have a fresh new start of the day. As always, we're gonna have to set up a part two because there's a couple of things that I want to engage with on another conversation about just being black people in general. But that she chimed in. Miss Mary Lee Johnson chimed in the comments. Organic hair products, y'all buy it. My hair is soft and silky. It is definitely right. So happy Sunday. See y'all next week. The guest next week that we have is very impactful. Straight out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not gonna tell you your name because we gotta make sure we confirm her. We gotta get everything lined up. But tune in next Sunday for Dope Conversations. And Miss Houston, you have a great Sunday. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, what a time.